Hi, so here's a quick thing, screencast. So the model is in 3ds Max, and I'm going to show you how to get it into the program that you need to put the information for the 3D printer in. So at the moment, 3D Studio Max and things like Blender and Maya don't seem to have this facility. So you get your model, you export it. A good way to, one of the best formats, is STL. You can also export it as OBJ, etc., etc. Whatever the printing program will allow you to use. So here's Cura, C-U-U-R-A. Right click, you'll orbit round, zoom in, zoom out. This box shows you the area for printing. All the tools here help you set up your print. So your print, this is how you save your print that goes to the printer, and it's called G-code, yeah? So it's like a 3D mesh, but it has more information about the different types of the print, the print specification. So I'm going to look at that in a minute. Let's go to File, Load Model File. So you get your file, open it up, let it load, and then often, because I've messed up the coordinates, it will come in at the wrong angle. So select it, scale it, drag down, because it's huge at the moment. So that'll do for now. Zoom in and out with the mouse wheel, and right click to orbit. So now you need to rotate it, which is easy. Rotate, get this handle, make sure it's on 90 degrees, rotates 90 degrees, like so. Oops. And then it's going to be flat on your base. And I've made a base on this model. So this one was with a base, different model to this. It actually had a base on the actual mesh, a very thin base, as you can see here. And you might think that's all well and good, and it's got, the measurements are nice, and it's going to take 3 hours 56 minutes because it's quite a big model. And we can scale it down a bit, but let's not, because we're not going to print it out, because I don't have a printer at the moment at home. Hopefully this will change in the future. So here's your model, and what you do is you have to go to View Mode in the Cura program, or a similar option in your program you've chosen, and go to Layers. And as you probably know, that 3D prints, the simpler types of 3D prints are made up of lots and lots of layers, like so, yeah. And here we have the layer height here, 0.1. We can change that 0.5. It's going to make a very rough mesh because the layers are very high. And if you're not sure about things, you can hover over one of the boxes and it'll give you a good explanation. Yeah. So it's saying thicker layers than 0.28 usually give bad results. Normal quality prints are 0.1, so that's 0.1. This all depends on your printer as well. Yeah. So what you're going to have to do is go to things like your machine as well. But this should be all set up for you in your Makerspace or Fab Lab. Another really important thing that I'm going to talk about lastly is structure in your model. Yeah. So let's go off layers, go to normal. So the structure of this is quite complex to print, and when I did my art residency, one of the people that worked there thought that this wasn't going to print because it is complex. And how to get around that, how to get around it breaking, is you have to put a collar on it. I'm just going to show you a picture of this. So just let that load in Sketchbook Pro. It's a bit slow today. So that's the final result. Quite rough, but it worked. Okay. And then what you need to do is something like this. So it's going to have a base and it's going to have legs. The base, if it's got thin things like legs, the base is going to stop these legs from moving around. So if this leg was being printed layer by layer and it had no base, it would have nothing to hold on to. So the nozzle would push the leg around and it would all mess up and not do it properly. As you can see here, in this model the leg was not actually attached to this base, so it walked and didn't print, it flew off. Let's just quickly look at this one. Sorry, it's taking a while to load. So here again, there's no base on it, and because of the no base, this leg here just walked, as it were. It just went away. The nozzle pushed it away. It was probably still in the nozzle, and they had to stop the whole process. So let's go back to Cura. So I'm going to go to View Mode and Layers, and very quickly, what it's going to make is a collar. Yeah. So you choose to have your support type and have a raft. Yeah. Okay, so that's the support on the bottom, yeah. But it's also, you also need to have put in the option for to have this collar thing going up. So all this turquoisey stuff is actually plastic as well, which I showed you. You should have seen in this picture here. Come on, load. So much time being wasted. Well, right. So here's the collar there, yeah? So that's printing the support, because with this model there's a big lot of structure that is freestanding, and in the final model the legs will support it, but as it prints it needs support, so this is why it has this collar-y thing, which I call a collar. It's more like a bridging support. So basically that's it. There are loads of other settings like the lattice inside, the thickness, etc., etc., etc. And if you're working with a Fab Lab or Makerspace, they should have a program. They should have this program or a similar program, and they might be able to help you optimize it. And finally, you can take that off there. And finally, you just go to Save G Code, and then save the code, and then put it into your printer. Yeah, that's it basically. So always remember, when you're doing 3D printing model, even from the process when you're making it in 3D Studio Max, think of it as going to be printed in the real world, and as you go along you'll get the feel for it and how it prints and what messes up and what doesn't, as I found out in the Fab Lab residency in Montreal in EcoFab, and luckily I was able to print a few of these for free to experiment, because I was doing the art residency. So that's it basically. So sign up for my newsletter for more stuff, and if you've got any comments and questions, let me know, and thanks very much for watching this. Goodbye for now. Have a good day.